Okay, pero ahora
Yes.
tienes Shiur recordado de año pasado en Bereshis. Hello,
¿Será
hello?
mensaje? ¿Será mensaje para Gerson, que es el Shur del año pasado?
No, no. No, I'm just saying that we have a Shiur from last year for today's class.
Tenemos un Shur del año pasado para la clase de hoy.
And okay, and at the end of the class there'll be time for questions. Okay, because it's not such a too long the class.
Y al final de la clase tendremos oportunidad para preguntas, porque no es muy largo.
Okay. All right, and so all right, so Jerson, you can go ahead. You could play the class.
Gerson, ya puedes empezar con la clase.
Okay, the meaning of the, I mean, the meaning of the story of creation. I mean,
El significado de la historia de la creación.
all right. Okay, I hope it's soon. I don't know.
No sé.
Shalom, una disculpa, acabo de entrar. No sé si ya debo proyectar la clase.
Sí, el
Gerson,
rabino
por favor.
What did he say?
Gerson me estaba preguntando que si ya podía proyectar la clase. Yo le estaba respondiendo que sí, que por favor, que proyectara ya la
Sí.
clase.
Okay, por favor. ¿Tú tienes esta clase, Selma?
Oh, Gerson's
Sí,
gonna do it.
él ya la está colocando. Rabino.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
Gerson is doing it.
All right, great. And voracious is whatever. There's a lot of less important lessons, fundamental lessons in voracious.
Hay clases fundamentales en Bereshit. Muchos temas fundamentales.
Because a teacher starts. I mean, the Torah is our teacher basically.
La Torah es nuestro maestro.
And the teacher, when you want to teach, you teach the fundamental things, and after that, you build on that.
Un maestro establece los fundamentos y a partir de allí edifica.
Right. So why in the creation? So why do we have to have details of the creation?
¿Por qué se nos brindan detalles de la creación?
Because what does it concern us? I mean, it could, we could have just said God created everything and that's it, and move on.
Bien se pudo haber dicho y Dios creó todo y a partir de ahí seguimos aprendiendo. ¿Qué relación guarda la creación con cada uno de nosotros?
Right. And so it has to be that the creation really is told in such a way that to break it down into pieces that we could understand somehow.
Todo lo que se llevó a cabo en la creación, en Torah está acomodado en segmentos de manera que nosotros lo podamos comprender.
And basically into the human-sized pieces.
Básicamente está dosificado en tamaño que el humano lo puede asimilar.
Right. And so there has to be there's a reason. There has to be a reason for this.
Y debe existir una razón para que esto haya sido hecho así.
Must be that it's something that we need to learn from this and about ourselves.
Debe de haber algo aquí para que nosotros aprendamos cosas de nosotros mismos.
Okay. And there's a we say a fundamental principle.
Hay un
That we have.
principio fundamental que tenemos.
That everything Hashem did, he did it in such a way that the man should be a partner with it also. That's how he created.
Un principio fundamental es que todo lo que Hashem creó lo estableció para que funcione en asociación con el hombre.
Right. It's not, of course, Hashem, he didn't need a man for a partner. Hashem made it, he made it in such a way that as if a man is a partner in everything.
No necesitaba ser así. Hashem no requería de nuestra asistencia, pero él lo echó a andar de esta forma, con un hombre como socio.
And see, I mean, part of it is some of the reasons for this is so a person should realize that there is you're a person is responsible for the world.
Y de esto, en parte, entendemos que el hombre es responsable de la tarea.
And right, and we have some statements of the sages where you can see these things.
Hay enunciados por parte de los sabios que así lo enseñan.
Right. So I'll give some examples.
Daré algunos ejemplos.
It says if you're a judge and
Si
you
eres
judge
juez,
a case in the proper way that it's supposed to, the way it's supposed to.
un juez que actúe en la manera que debe actuar apropiadamente.
You judge the case properly.
Un juez que juzga apropiadamente.
Then you become the judge is it's as if he's a partner in the creation of heaven and earth.
Es como si el juez formara parte de la creación de los cielos y la tierra.
That is a statement of the sages. The sages made such a statement.
Los sabios hicieron tal enunciado.
Right. So we see right here that man basically is a partner in the creation. You see it.
Vemos que el hombre es un socio en la creación.
And what does it mean? I mean, the creation happened already. How is it? In what way is he a partner?
Si la creación se llevó a cabo antes de que existiera el hombre, ¿cómo es esto posible?
Because really because time is only pertains to us down here, and so up above there's no and the creation itself is above time.
El tiempo, medir el tiempo, es una cuestión de aquí abajo en la tierra. Allá arriba en lo alto, el tiempo no rige en la eternidad.
So there could be somebody that makes a judge somewhere in the future, but that part that he did it goes into the creation.
Tal vez pueda existir un juez en el futuro, pero el material, lo básico, el origen de que llegue a existir ese juez en el futuro fue hecho desde la creación.
Right. And there's another statement that the sages said.
Hay otro enunciado que los sabios estipularon.
That if you stand on Friday night and
si uno se pone de pie el viernes por la noche,
you say this part where in the part where it says that Hashem finished the creation, that part over there. It's
y lee esa
in the beginning
parte
here.
donde dice que Hashem terminó la creación.
I'll quote, it's chapter 2, verse 1 until between chapters 2, verse 1 and 4 over there.
Entre los versos 1 y 2 del capítulo 2.
No, 1 and 4. 1 and 4. So the first 3 verses of the second chapter.
Los primeros 3 versos del capítulo 2 de Bereshit.
Okay, and we in the Jewish homes we say this on Friday nights in the synagogue, and then also right before we make Kiddush also.
En el Shabbat, en los hogares judíos, y al hacer el Kiddush, se lee esto.
Also in the synagogues, everybody says
Y
it
en las
together.
sinagogas también.
So, all right. So it says anyhow that if a person stands and says this, then he becomes a partner in the creation. It says also.
Entonces los sabios dicen, si alguien se pone de pie y declara lo escrito aquí, se convierte en parte, en socio de la creación.
So, I mean, what did he? Again, so what did he do? I mean, what did the person do to become a part of creation?
Y entonces, ¿qué hace el humano para formar parte de la creación?
Right. So over there, in that part, in those verses, we declare that Hashem created the world and is the creator.
En estos versos se declara que Hashem es el creador.
So that in itself is just it. If we stand up and testify that God is the creator, then that itself is that material of our testimony goes in is built, and on this itself the creation is built.
El pararse uno y decir esto, estamos declarando que en esto se sostiene la creación.
If we say, let me say it again slowly, because it's not, I want to make sure it comes out clear. Again, if we
De nuevo,
declare that God created,
si nosotros declaramos que Hashem creó,
so the creation itself is built on this.
la
From this.
creación misma se construye, se lleva a cabo en esto.
Okay. Right, and so therefore we could learn that everything that was really created, everything that was created is works in this way.
Entonces concluimos que todo lo que fue creado opera en esta manera.
Right, now it's also possible to say that if people behave no good, then also that can also become part of creation.
Y también podríamos decir que si el hombre se porta mal, también eso afecta a la creación.
Right, and that we shall see, but we should basically I want to take these understandings and then now go back and look at the creation and see at what we look at this what we have about the creation and see what we can learn from this principle.
Ahora que vimos este principio, vayamos a la evolución de la creación, primer capítulo.
All right, and we can see basically we see in the creation how to look at the creation based on with these principles.
Con ese principio en mente, que somos socios de la creación, vamos a estudiar y ver la creación.
Okay, so you have in the first verse that says Hashem made the heaven and earth.
En el comienzo creó Elohim los cielos y la tierra. Verso 1, Bereshit 1.
Right. So some commentaries say that this means that Hashem made a spiritual realm and the physical. Some say.
Algunos
Ramban.
comentaristas dicen que aquí denota que Hashem hizo el mundo espiritual y el mundo físico.
Okay, so man himself is made up of these things, and so is and the world itself is also like this.
Entonces, el mundo y el hombre, así fuimos formados.
And the world itself is everything in the world is like this also.
Todo el mundo es así. Espiritual.
Right. In the next verse it says the earth was chaos, basically.
Pero
Darkness
la
and chaos.
tierra estaba informe y desordenada. Caos.
Okay. So this you can see that this is a negative stuff.
Esto es un asunto negativo.
And even the sages say that these things, these words, different words that you find in this verse, refer to the exiles, the 4 exiles.
Y los sabios ven en estas palabras una referencia a los 4 exilios.
Right. So that means these are forces of negative things that are present in the world. I mean,
Estas son fuerzas negativas presentes en el mundo.
and of course we can understand people a lot in the history is full of negative behavior and negative forces. So then this is produces that this is part of the creation. That we can understand.
Estudiando la historia, vemos que es real la presencia de estas fuerzas negativas.
Right, and it says that the Spirit of God is above, float like hovering above.
Dice que las tinieblas sobre la faz del abismo y el viento de Elohim soplaba sobre la faz de las aguas.
Spirit of God was hovering.
El espíritu de Hashem.
So they say, some of the teachers explained that means that Hashem is looking, is waiting for a place that he could in this world to develop him.
Los sabios nos explican aquí que Hashem permanece buscando dónde darse a conocer.
Right, and then we see light and darkness. So that's also, we could understand that darkness is more, light is more positive, and darkness is negative.
Dijo Elohim, haya luz.
No, don't read it. Please don't read the verses.
Okay.
Please don't read
All
the
right.
verses. Because
Dice
I'm
que
not
la
reading the
luz-
verses. Just say what I'm saying.
Ok, luz es positivo y la tiniebla o la oscuridad es negativo. No vamos a ir leyendo cada verso.
We don't need to read the verses. I'm not. People can read on their own the verses. It's not.
Nosotros luego, después de clase, cuando tengamos oportunidad, podemos leer todos estos capítulos de Bereshit.
Okay. It has there next that there's Hashem made a separation between water and the upper water and the lower water.
Y Hashem crea una separación entre las aguas de arriba y las aguas de abajo.
Right. So we have principles. Sometimes I teach it that water relates to like sensation or pleasure.
Tenemos una enseñanza en donde se refiere al agua como sensación.
Right. And so the upper waters and upper waters and lower waters, we could say it relates to like kind of like higher pleasures and lower pleasures, spiritual pleasure and physical pleasure.
Entonces podemos entender aquí que las aguas de arriba y las aguas de abajo son una figura de los placeres de arriba y los placeres de abajo, los placeres espirituales y los placeres físicos.
And it says Hashem divided. So
Y Hashem, está dicho aquí, que creó una separación entre ambos.
right. So this is like we in all the spiritual practice and serving of Hashem, we also do such a division.
Y queda entendido que a través de las prácticas espirituales también se establece una separación en nosotros.
Like one bit is we always have men and women. We separate.
Un ejemplo sería la separación que hacemos entre hombres y mujeres,
There we had in the temple, and we have in the synagogues.
que teníamos en el templo y ahora en la sinagoga.
Right, and even in the laws of prayer, you're supposed to separate, kind of like you're supposed to separate your upper body from your lower body when you pray, in modesty.
Y aún en el rezo, debemos establecer una separación, una diferencia entre la parte de arriba del cuerpo y la parte de abajo en modestia.
That means the lower part has to be covered.
Eso quiere decir que la parte baja debe de estar cubierta.
Right, and also there's laws of basically you're not supposed you can't study Torah. You're not supposed to see something immodest when you study Torah, for example. There's laws like that.
Y también hay leyes como el que no está permitido estudiar Torah si delante de nosotros hay algo no modesto y moral.
Right. So therefore, you see, these things don't mix. Spiritual pleasure and physical, they somehow don't come together. They need to be separate.
Las cosas espirituales y las físicas necesitan estar separadas. Los placeres.
Again, let me say it again. Spiritual pleasure and physical pleasure need to be separate. Somehow, if you have one, you don't have the other.
Los placeres espirituales y físicos deben de vivirse por separado. Si estás experimentando uno, no puedes tener el otro.
And most cases, unless it's a mitzvah, whatever, unless there's a mitzvah.
En la mayoría de los casos, a menos de que sea una mitzvah.
And so, you could say that our practice and way of dealing with things itself is what built this part of creation itself.
Entonces podemos decir que al nosotros establecer esta separación entre placeres, estamos formando parte de esta separación en la creación.
Again, our practice of this is our part that builds this in creation.
Otra vez, la práctica que nosotros llevamos a cabo de la separación de placeres nos hace formar parte de la creación.
Okay, very good. Okay, afterwards you have where Hashem says that the water should recede and the land should appear.
Después de esta separación de las aguas de arriba y de abajo, viene la parte en que las aguas van a juntarse y descubrir la tierra seca.
Right, and so really, we also, let's say a person wants to build a house, let's say.
Digamos que una persona quiere construir una casa.
So if a person, let's say, only wants to have pleasure, so maybe he could say, I won't build a house. All I'll do is just drink wine and that's it. I'll just sleep on the floor and I'll drink and that's it. Just have pleasure.
Sí, en este reto de construir la casa, la persona decide solo beber y tener placer de su bebida y no hacer nada más.
Right. What do I need the house for?
Y se dice a sí mismo, ¿para qué necesito la casa?
So then, basically, the house will never get built if he said that.
Básicamente, él no va a construir una casa. La casa nunca se va a construir.
Right. So what does he have to do? He has to think, listen, if I build a house, I'll have shelter and it won't be so cold and I'll be protected from the rain. And
básicamente, esta persona tiene que llegar a concluir que si construye la casa tendrá un refugio y podrá salvaguardarse de la lluvia y de las inclemencias del tiempo.
and it'll be better for all, for whatever, many different reasons. It'll be better. It'll be a lot of different things. And really, I'll have it better with the house. Really.
Puede enumerar un sinfín de beneficios, que obtendrá si construye la casa y concluirá que le conviene, que estará mejor con casa que sin casa.
Right. But to build a house then takes exertion, and he has to make the effort, and he has to put, he has to push aside his drinking, and he has to, work and make foundations and so on and so forth.
Pero decidirse a construir la casa implica dejar la bebida de lado y disponerse a ejercitarse, a cansarse, a comprometerse con el trabajo.
Right. So this itself is that so a person himself has to kind of do this, has to, in order to get anything done, to build anything, you have to put your pleasure aside, your immediate pleasure seeking aside.
Para construir cualquier cosa es necesario quitarse inmediatamente del disfrute de esos placeres.
Right. And so here we see that a person in a person's life, basically everybody, to build anything, you have to do this, and so we see, and it's part of creation itself, the same thing.
Y al disponerse a retirarse de estas cosas, empezamos a formar parte también de la creación.
Okay, and afterwards it says, I'm not going everything that's here. I'm just saying later on you have Hashem created the bodies and heavenly bodies.
No vamos palabra por palabra, pero lo que sigue es que Hashem hizo los cuerpos celestes, las estrellas, los planetas.
It says he made a big it says he made a big one and small one. That's what it says. First of all,
Dice que hizo uno enorme y uno pequeño.
a big luminary and a small luminary. That's what he said.
Una gran luminaria y una pequeña luminaria.
And then it says, and the stars he made.
Y las estrellas.
Okay. So one thing we should see is that the importance of anything in creation is it parallels the importance that it has in its relationship to man.
Una cosa que notamos aquí es que la importancia de las cosas creadas en la creación van en relación directa al hombre.
Okay, so that means we assume it's saying everything in creation it's going from like what's big to small and what's more, the most significant things to less and less. That's the order.
Y empezamos de lo mayor y vamos hacia lo menor.
But it's towards man.
Pero siempre con respecto al hombre.
For example, so the big light certainly refers to the sun.
Así es que esa luminaria enorme se refiere al sol.
But of course the scientists, they look into the telescope and they see that there's other ones that are much bigger than the sun.
Los científicos ahora mirando al telescopio descubren que hay otras más grandes que el sol.
There's some stars that are thousands of times bigger than the sun. There are stars.
Hay estrellas miles de veces más grandes que nuestro sol.
But really in this verse here, these things don't exist. Almost don't exist almost.
Pero en esta narración, en estos versos, esa verdad de estrellas más grandes que el sol no es evidente.
Why? Because really in the creation itself, what really has significance only is what has significance in its proportion to its significance to man.
¿Por qué? Porque en esta narración de la creación, lo único destacable es lo que es de valor significativo para el hombre.
Right. So it could be there's a star out there, all the way out there, like there's a big giant star. I think they call it Betelgeuse. It could be it's thousands of times bigger than the sun.
Y es muy probable, es verdad que existe una gran estrella enorme que le ya pusieron el nombre de Betelgeuse.
Right, but to man, it's not. It doesn't affect man. Only like another star, and that's it.
Pero a la humanidad, Betelgeuse no le afecta.
Just like another star, and that's it.
Es simplemente como una estrella más que vemos en una noche oscura.
But the sun is everything for us. Is everything is so much for us. Everything for us.
Y en cambio, para nosotros, el sol lo es todo.
Right, and the sages have the story that they say that really the sun and moon were equal. They say.
Y los sabios tienen esta historia en donde nos dicen que en realidad el sol y la luna son iguales.
They were originally.
Eran en un inicio iguales.
And just that the moon said it's not proper that we should have two. It should either be me or you, whatever. It's not. Shouldn't be two like this.
Los sabios nos enseñan esta historia en donde la luna se quejó y dijo, no es propio ni adecuado que seamos del mismo tamaño.
Right, but the sun didn't say anything. He kept quiet.
El sol no dijo nada.
And so then Hashem said to the moon, go and make yourself small.
Hashem los escuchó y le dijo a la luna, ve y encógete, hazte más pequeña.
Right, and so in the sages they say that they say
Los
there's a
sabios
verse.
dicen, hay
It's a
un verso,
I don't remember where it is, in Tehillim, possibly in Tehillim.
no recuerdo dónde está este verso, probablemente en Tehilim,
And it says something like, if you hear your shame and don't respond, and
algo así como dice que si escuchas de tu vergüenza, no respondas.
then you are like the sun that goes out in its fullness in midday.
Eres como el sol que sale, like the sun that goes out, what?
In the midday.
A mediodía, como el sol que sale a mediodía.
Wait, I didn't get it right, but all right, I don't remember the verse so clearly, but just that. Anyhow, the sages, whatever. What we learned there is that if somebody embarrasses you, what we learned from the verse there, anyhow, is the following: that if somebody embarrasses you,
Si alguien te avergüenza, if somebody embarrasses you, what?
this is what we learned. What the sages teach us, anyhow, from this verse.
Los sabios nos enseñan de este verso que si alguien nos avergüenza, no digamos nada.
And you don't respond.
No respondamos.
Plus, you have to also love them also. So
Y también los debemos de amar.
then you're considered like the sun.
Entonces serás considerado como el sol.
Okay, I understand. There's a lot. It's a lot. It's just that basically the sun provides so much for the world: the heat, warmth, light, everything.
El sol provee tanto para el mundo.
Right, and the moon, it doesn't. It's sometimes there, and it provides only a little bit, and sometimes it's there, sometimes it goes away, and mostly it's a lot of darkness.
El sol provee tanto para el mundo, le da a todo mundo y viene y se va.
And the moon doesn't. The moon comes and goes. Not. I don't know. Moon. How do you
La
say moon?
luna viene.
Luna. That's it. The moon comes and goes, and it's a lot of darkness, and anyhow.
La luna viene y se va y hay oscuridad.
And so, in a way, basically, somebody who can, when there's a potential of conflict, he can keep his mouth shut and hold himself above the conflict.
En un conflicto, aquel que permanece con la boca callada, con la boca cerrada, In a conflict, one that
he can hold himself above the conflict and keep his mouth shut.
se mantiene por encima del conflicto si guarda su boca cerrada.
And so that person, you could say he's almost like he's created this sun. He gives so much benefit to the world.
Esta persona es como si creara un sol, porque le trae mucho beneficio.
And the other
a ese
person
ambiente.
is the other person who complains and this and this. So he makes dark, he brings the darkness in the world.
La otra persona que está quejándose y alegando, esa persona trae oscuridad al mundo.
Okay, so we got a little bit of picture of this thing, of this idea for now.
Entonces tenemos
And,
más o menos una idea ya de esta enseñanza.
right, and God willing, we'll continue on more about the Bereshis and
Con la ayuda
next
del
week.
Eterno vamos a seguir más sobre Bereshit.
Next week, okay.
La
So for
semana
now,
que
see if there's any questions or comments.
¿Habrá alguna pregunta? Dice Isabel, estas fuerzas negativas que fueron creadas al principio son las que están destruyendo la tierra y que buscan una involución. Are these negative forces that were created at the beginning destroying the earth and seeking involution?
Evolution. Hello? What happened? Hello? Essa palavra involution, causar de toda clase involution. Is made of positive things and negative things all mixed together.
En el judaísmo queda
Judaism, it's not in the Torah. It's not like that at all. The creation is made of positive things and negative things all mixed together.
En el judaísmo queda claro que durante la creación se establecieron tanto fuerzas negativas como positivas.
Right, not like the some people in the world, the philosophers that have some concept that whatever is natural is already perfect, something like that. There's a philosophy like that in the world.
Porque hay filosofías en el mundo que establecen que si algo es natural, tiene que ser bueno.
Right, but it's not in the Torah. It's not. We don't have this idea.
Pero en la Torá no se enseña esta idea.
Right. If you listen to this class, you could understand more why it is like that.
Al escuchar esta clase, entiendes mejor cómo es esto en verdad.
It was very
Johnny
good.
preguntó cómo fue Simchat Torah en
Listen,
Sefat.
I didn't run around anywhere, but it was nice. I did at night. I went with the Hasidim for a few hours, and it was good. And
Dice que no anduvo corriendo por allí, pero que en la noche sí se reunió con algunos Hasidim.
for like 2 hours, and in the day
Como por 2 horas.
I did it early in the morning with the Sfardim.
Y en la mañana con los sefaraditas.
All right.
¿Alguna otra pregunta? A ver.
Oh, yeah, somebody has something to say here. They
Sí,
typed it also.
Karina, si la creación se empezó con el atributo de justicia, ¿en qué momento es que la misericordia se volvió en mayor medida que la justicia? Porque se nota que ahora la misericordia es mayor. If creation started with justice, when did mercy became or bigger or above it? Because
Right.
now it's obvious that it is bigger.
Right. Well, right. See, really, this is what they teach about this. That really, Hashem is everything mercy.
En verdad, se enseña que Hashem es todo misericordia.
Right, so the purpose of the justice is just to basically is to straighten us out.
Así es que el propósito de la justicia básicamente es solo enderezarnos.
Right, so it exists in the world in the measure that basically we can handle it.
Existe en el mundo en la medida que lo podemos soportar.
So of course now we can only handle very little. So that's why there has to be more and more mercy, because we can't handle being straightened out harshly. I mean.
Y como no podemos soportar ser enderezados, ser corregidos en una manera abrupta, pues es solo poquita la justicia que hay y mucha la misericordia.
Right, and these things I'm not saying. Hello, hello. Terminar? Terminal? Right, and these things I'm not saying from my own theories. These things I heard from different teachers. I heard them explain this.
Y estas cosas no las hablo yo de mi propia opinión, o no son enseñanzas mías, son cosas que yo he aprendido de los sabios.
For example, this thing, what I just said, I think is written in the Sfas Emes. It's cool. It's the name of a sage from hundreds of years ago.
Esto último que dije fue escrito por gente muy elevada, los Safin.
Sfas Emes is called.
Es
And
Sfas
from a few
Emes.
hundred years ago. Okay.
Ellos fueron los que lo dijeron.
Okay, I guess there's no more questions. So,
Yo tengo una pregunta. ¿Qué se le enseña
Yeah.
primero a un niño?
in the Jewish schools, you're talking for a Jewish child or for everybody?
Well, a small child in the house. ¿Qué es lo primero que le enseñamos a un niño pequeño en casa? Aquí, Bereshit 1.
You could, yeah. I don't know. Like you said, in the Jewish school, they teach only the first few verses of Vayikra, and then they go to Bereshis in the Jewish school.
Okay. Dice que en la Yeshiva, a los niños, a los estudiantes, se les enseña primero los primeros versos de Vayikra, de Levítico, y luego vienen a Bereshit.
Right. There's some reasons for these customs, whatever it is. But if you're not part of the Jewish, if you're not Jewish, you can start over here. You can start over here. If you're not.
Si no se es judío, puede uno bien empezar a enseñarle a los niños directamente Bereshit 1.
Okay, we terminar. Yo pensar, we terminar esa clase. Muy bueno, gracias, gracias a Joseph. See? All right. And hello. ¿Se escucha, señora?
Se escucha bien, Rap.
Okay. Tal vez señora no aquí en ese minuto. Hay preguntas? ¿Hay preguntas? Así yo leemos aquí pregunta de Selma. En lo referente a guardia silencio, hay personas a las que les cuesta mucho trabajo lograr en un momento de humiliación, vergüenza, enojo, etc. Guardia silencio. ¿Qué recomiendas da para alcanzar dicho objetivo? Okay. What do I recommend? Uno cosa is pensar buen in cuál tu valuaste. Si esa reacción, ese enojo, esa vengencia, esa reacción is tienes value, verdad? O ese silencio, tal vez, tiene en verdad mucho value. Value es mucho valioso. Si nosotros entiendo, cuál de Torah, nosotros entiendo de ese silencio es más valioso. En the palabras de Gaon de Vilna, cada segunda de silencio persona puede obtener 3 horas de toda persona, no persona en el mundo puede imaginar esas 3 horas. Para un segundo de silencio. Porque why should I give away this minute, this moment of silence? Why should I give this away? Yeah, and ese psicólogo judío Adahan dicen de persona. Can you translate for me, Senora? Are you here? I don't hear you.
I don't know why I had trouble with the computer, but I'm on the phone.
Okay. Please.
So
Okay,
you were
good.
saying to Selma?
Yes, that this. Hopefully, people understood what I said until now. Anyhow, I have no idea. But anyhow, the psychologist Adahan, she says.
La psicóloga Ann dice.
Adahan. She says.
Ella dice.
That you should say to yourself that I thank Hashem for the opportunity of being able to act according to your attributes.
You have to stick to yourself to what?
Say to yourself, habla con mismo. Talk to yourself.
Ella dice que nosotros debemos de hablar con nosotros mismos.
And you say to yourself, thank Hashem for opportunity.
Y decirnos, debo agradecer a Hashem por la oportunidad.
To practice according to your attributes.
Para practicar la continencia.
Continencia? According to your attributes.
De acuerdo a nuestros atributos.
Not nuestros, according to your attributes. Maybe that's what you meant. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. That according to Hashem's attributes. Okay.
Bueno, estamos hablando con Hashem, entonces es de acuerdo a los atributos de Hashem.
Okay, very good. And so if you have that thought, then you realize, basically keeping quiet, you're acting, like Hashem acts.
Entonces, teniendo eso en mente, mantenernos callados es actuar como Hashem.
Because the whole world is busy doing all kind of crazy things, but Hashem keeps quiet.
Porque todo el mundo está ocupado haciendo una variedad sin fin de locuras. Pero Hashem permanece callado.
Okay, let's see if there's more más preguntas.
Bueno, vamos a
At
revisar.
6:45, Selma said something there.
A ver, ahí es que yo
Oh,
traigo el
cuando?
reloj.
Oh, 6:47. I think she has a question there.
Well, how does it start? Because my daughter's computer has it all wrong, the time.
Never mind. I think I can read the question. Cuando
Bueno.
en la Torah habla de agua siempre hace referencia a sazones? Okay, I understand the question.
Ok. La pregunta de Selma con respecto al agua.
I understand the question. You could translate that.
Ok, él entiende la pregunta.
Right. And the rule is for every parable
La regla es que cada parábola
that it only fits if it makes sense.
solo encaja si hace sentido.
So not it doesn't have to be that every time there's one interpretation of something.
Entonces no tiene que ser que cada vez que hay una interpretación de algo,
No. Again, it does not have to be that each time there is one interpretation of something.
no tiene que ser que cada vez haya una interpretación de algo.
Very good. And because it could be, and sometimes it could be that water means something else.
Porque puede ser que una de las veces, it could be that sometimes what?
That water would mean something else.
Que el agua signifique otra cosa.
Like water also means sometimes is referred to Torah.
Como a veces el agua significa la Torah.
Okay, and really it could be that there's 70 different things that it could refer to.
Y pudiera referirse a 70 diferentes cosas.
But we, for our minds, we work with one thing at a time.
Pero en nuestras mentes trabajaremos con una cosa a la vez. Okay.
And if you see that it doesn't make sense, it doesn't fit, so then you have to switch over to a different meaning. That's
Y si notas que no encaja, entonces haces un cambio, lo cambias por otro.
you switch to a different meaning.
Le cambias a un significado distinto.
Okay, very good. Okay, let's at 6:51. Selma had another comment. I'll read it to you, I guess, because you can't see it. Si ese silencio es muy valioso, el problema es que en ese momento a la persona se desconecta la CPU y no recuerda que debe guardar silencio y la valiosa de guardar el sereno. That's 100% right. That
Cierto.
the person disconnects at that point. That's 100%. That's part of the big problem of life.
Ese es parte del gran problema de la vida.
And Ramchal says,
y el Ramjal dice,
and the solution is to review over and over again the thing that you know already.
Que repasemos una y otra vez lo que ya sabemos.
But then maybe in that moment it won't disconnect so easily.
Para que luego en ese momento no nos desconectemos tan fácilmente.
Right, and Rabbi Salanta said to sing it to yourself and to put your enthusiasm into this thing, something, and that will make a stronger effect on you. That's what Rabbi Salanta said.
Y Rab Salante aconseja cantar esta verdad, cantarlo
Put
de
all your
tal
emotions
forma,
into it somehow. And
que involucremos nuestras emociones en ello y
And
sea
this will make a
más
stronger
fácil,
impression on yourself.
que sea una impresión más fuerte en nosotros.
And that will be maybe a lasting impression.
Y quizás esperamos que eso sea una impresión duradera en nosotros.
And so therefore, even in that time when you get into trouble, somehow it will still be there for you.
De tal forma que en los momentos en los que estemos en apuros, sea una verdad valiosa para nosotros.
It will, right, and you won't forget about it. It won't slip. You won't disconnect your CPU.
No vamos a desconectar el CPU.
And but training would help. That means training helps. That the more you work on being conscious, holding on to consciousness, then you don't consciousness doesn't slip away from you.
Si nos mantenemos conectados, conscientes, no en automático, es más factible que la conciencia entonces nos ayude, nos responda.
Again, training helps.
El entrenamiento ayuda.
If you train yourself to always remain conscious,
Si nos entrenamos a permanecer conscientes,
so then in that time you'll have more strength to be able to hold on to the consciousness.
entonces en esos momentos difíciles tendremos más fuerza para mantenernos enlazados a la conciencia.
Right. But like all the training, you have to do step by step, and you can't.
Y como en todo entrenamiento, tenemos que irlo haciendo pasito a pasito.
So you keep on trying, and even if sometimes you don't succeed, but you just get up and try again. That's all.
Entonces seguimos tratando. No importa si nos caemos, nos levantamos y volvemos a tratar.
Very good, excellent.
Bien. A ver.
Yes, very good. Okay, I think that's it. We got to the end of the shiur.
Bueno, creo
Very
que llegamos
good.
al final del Shur.
Okay, I was very happy with the shiur.
Estoy muy contento con el Shur.
That I see that Hashem helped us a lot to be able to do such a shiurim.
Que puedo ver cómo Hashem nos ayudó muchísimo, de tal forma que pudimos tener ese Shur.
Right, and I see that even I could learn from these shiurim itself. I could learn from them.
Yo mismo puedo aprender de estos Shurim
And
mismos.
so God willing, we'll have another one like this tomorrow. Okay.
Y con la ayuda del Eterno tendremos uno igual mañana.
And thank you for the translations.
Gracias, Rab, por enseñarnos.
And shalom a todos.
Shalom, Rab.
Shalom.